Christianity creates immunity for evildoers. When Jesus Christ came and says, I came to provide salvation for sinners, what he does not come is not to stop sin. He came to provide an umbrella that shields sinners from judgment. There is nothing like God in form of a personality. Christianity destroys the unity of a people and creates division among them. So Bible is an improper package lie, sustained with fear. I told you, when you hear God, God means government of the day. When you hear heaven, heaven simply means all Western countries, Europe, America, England, Belgium. When you hear earth, earth simply means Africa. When you hear men, men simply means men of Africa. Bible is a true colonialist book. Everything written in Bible is a true word of the predator to the prey. A man can by faith believe that acid is now water, and he will now carry the acid and begin to spray on people. So faith is a potent weapon of terror. I'm going to give you maybe just 16 important points why I left Christianity. If you pick Bible from the beginning to end, you discover this is the culture of the West, which live on exploiting other human beings. Bible is just a manual of colonization, a book a man wrote and believed that this is how I'm going to oppress my colonizers, and then making the colonizers, giving the colonizers consolation to accept death. To live is Christ and to die is gain. This culture makes the people to accept death as a benefit of serving Christ. You can see him talking in Proverbs chapter 3 verse 5. He says, if your enemy is hungry, give him food. He was just creating a pathway by which you will love your own enemy. But the man went back to his land and built a bomb. You think he built the bomb to play? You are not, you are joking. The day he will touch any of his own people, he'll come back and he will demolish everybody in your village. So God don't give husband. Men saturate and make themselves available for it. Somebody is now testifying in the church that I have a husband and others don't have a husband. Somebody came to testify in the church that I entered the car. He says accident happened. 5 died. Only 1 survived. He said this is the grace of God. People in the church shout power. Somebody come and testify. He says I buy a car. I came from a family where everybody doesn't even have a car at all. But the goodness of the Lord has been faithful to me. Somebody says power. The question becomes, when you have a car and your brothers don't have a car, your brothers is going to poison you. When the people is denied food, the people cannot know morality. Survival will always override morality. Like I told you, there are things that are not option. There are things that are the basic need of life. And so the basic need of life need requisite, urgent, meticulous attention to fix it. So when you come in Enugu, you see a massive number of youth who doesn't have a job. And then when people don't have a job, you cannot actually come and teach them morality. When the Westerners live their normal life, automatically their fight for survival is a direct extermination of life to people in black. And when the black race take their normal culture is direct attack and direct threat of life to the survival of the West. And nature actually designed this way because life and death is intertwined. And what every species fights to is to preserve their culture, because their culture is the only thing that will sustain their survival.
You were a Christian. Tell us about your Christian background.
I grew up as a Methodist. And that's why most times if you watch my videos, you discover anytime I'm singing, I sing hymn book. And so when you look at the Christianity, you discover Christianity is actually, like you hear Christians speaking and they tell you that Christianity is not just a religion, that Christianity is a lifestyle. They are not wrong. Christianity is a lifestyle. A lifestyle is people's way of life. We know that people's way of life is their culture. So if Christianity is actually a culture, the next thing it becomes, culture is made up of three features. Number 1, a people. Number 2, a place. Number 3, a body of knowledge. And so if Christianity is a culture made up of a people, the first question becomes, which people, which culture of which people? Number 2, which place is the culture established? And number 3, what is the body of language corresponding with the people practicing it? And so if you pick Bible from the beginning to end, you discover this is the culture of the West, which live on exploiting other human beings. And so when Bible is just a manual of colonization, a book a man wrote and believed that this is how I'm going to oppress my colonizers, and then making the colonizers, giving the colonizers consolation to accept death. So when you open the Bible, you begin to see Psalm 2 verse 8. The Bible began to speak. It says, ask of me, and I will give you nations as your inheritance. Ask of me, I will give you nations as your inheritance. Somebody in England have opened that part of the Bible, and when God says, ask of me as an inheritance, the man remembered Nigeria. He has asked God, and God has given him Nigeria as an inheritance. A Britain man opened that Bible, ask of me, and I will give you nations as your inheritance. God has given him Ghana as his inheritance. A man of Belgium has opened that Psalm 2 verse 8. Ask of me, and I will give you nations as your inheritance. The man remembered Congo. So it's a culture of forceful ownership of land. And when God have promised you to give you nations as your inheritance, the first question you should be asking is, the nation he's giving you, is it not the land of people? Is it not human being living there? It is the culture of forceful colonizing and exploiting of people's race. And so when the man is going, the man carries the Bible as the word of the colonialist to his colony, to give the colony, to make the colony feel relaxation in being exploited and manipulated. And so I am of the organic resolution to reinstitute people our own culture. Because if you watch the technology, if you come in the physics of the universe, you discover man is the apex of the food chain. And the reason why man is at the apex of the food chain is because man does not only hunt, man breeds. Like the lion who just want to eat other animals. But man want to eat and want to reproduce. And then we begin to study the technology towards which man used to reproduce every animal. If a man want to reproduce any animal, the first thing he does is that he will first reproduce his culture. Because no animal can exist outside the culture. When a man want to reproduce a fish, the first thing he does is that he begin to create a pool of water. And not just the water, he will saturate the water to correspond with the water that will survive the life of a fish. If a man wants to rear a goat, the first thing he does is that he creates a culture of a land full of grasses, so the goats can eat. When a man wants to rear a cow, he creates a culture of grasses. When a man wants to rear anything you want to rear, if you want to rear monkey, you make up trees. Any animal you want to rear, the first thing you do that you will reproduce is culture, because any species taken outside this culture is death. Any species taken outside its own way of life is extermination. And so you discover when a human being want to fight the existence of animal, human being fight mosquito by altering the nature of the culture of mosquito. A mosquito exists in a swampy area, in a dirty environment. And so when you are fumigating this area, the first thing you are doing is that you are creating an environment, a culture that is against the sustainability of a mosquito. So you are not even fighting the mosquito one-on-one. You are only fighting it by altering its culture. So when we are talking about reviving culture, we're talking about a man fighting your culture is fighting against your own ways of life. And I'm going to give you maybe just 16 important points why I left Christianity.
Is it not Bob Marley that say, emancipate yourself from religious slavery? A lot of people are just, the Bible, people are using the Bible as a weapon to manipulate and hold people down. The kind of church you attend will affect your mental health. It's like some churches you go to, they talk about demons. They end up creating cycles out of their members. So you see a man walking on the road and doing like this. You wonder, what is he doing? He's doing like this. I've seen a man like that before. That's why I know this story. So I called the man and I said to him, every time you're walking on the road alone, on the main road, you'll be doing like this. And I said to him, what are you doing? He said, no, it's cobwebs. Everywhere I go, there are cobwebs everywhere. So I'm always clearing the cobwebs. I said, where did you get cobwebs from? Why is it, if it is really cobwebs, why is it only you that is seeing the cobwebs? Others pass through that road, they don't see the cobwebs. He said, no, there are cobwebs. Those people are not seeing. Me, I'm always seeing. So the man is always doing like this. That's a psycho condition. And it's because somebody preached a message of cobwebs to him, which is not even in the Bible. But my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. That's why Paul will say to that church in Galatia, oh, foolish Galatians, who has bewitched you? And always the bewitchment is from the pulpit, from unschooled pastors or pastors who are wicked, who have decided to take advantage of gullible people and keep them under a spell of deception and scam and take advantage of their gullibility. And that is very, very unkind. That is wicked. There is nothing like, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to lock yourself, stay away from medical science, you have to take holy water. There's nothing like holy water. You have to take olive oil. There's nothing like all of that. The name of Jesus is greater than everything. I went to Kenya to preach, and after teaching the people the word of God for 5 days, a woman, a CEO of a company, came and said, Pastor, thank you for setting me free. As educated as I am, they kept asking me to bring fruit, bring this, bring basket of fruits. I will bring, they will tell me to eat it. I have eaten fruits till I am tired. I said, why are you eating fruit? He said, my pastor said, the more fruits I eat, I will become fruitful. He said, but from the things you have taught me this week, I am totally delivered from that church. I have seen the light now and I'm free. Can you imagine? CEO. This is a degree, maybe a master's degree holder, yet eating fruits in the name of being fruitful. My people are truly destroyed for a lack of knowledge. And that is why I'm grateful that you gave us this platform, so we can help people to be liberated from religious captivity, from religion's bondage. And that is why it's critical, the kind of enlightenment we're bringing. Those that will listen will listen. Those that will not listen, even if it was Jesus that was here, they will not listen. But we have done our part.
Once our operation is finished, you can come back safely to your homes.
If you take away the Soviet Union and its chief proxy, the PLO, international terrorism would collapse.
If you take out Saddam, I guarantee you that it will have enormous positive reverberations on the region. Obviously, we like to see a regime change, at least I would, in Iran, just as I would like to see in Iraq. The question now is a practical question. What is the best place to proceed? It's not a question of whether Iraq's regime should be taken out, but when should it be taken out? Libya is, while no one is watching, under the cloak, is trying very rapidly to build an atomic bomb capability. I believe that the next step is to choose. It's not a question of whether you have to take action, but what kind of action and against whom. Today it's Tel Aviv, tomorrow it's New York. I understand America first. I don't understand America dead.
This is a time for war, a war for our common future.
You see, this guy, this Natanyahu, he's a master manipulator. He's a father. In fact, he's the father of all lies. This guy is a liar. He's evil. He's dangerous. And he needs to be stopped. I don't care about your religious sentiment. I don't care about what you think. But Natanyahu is a danger to humanity and he needs to be stopped. He just started this war unprovoked. Anyways, I don't want to always come online and start speculating. There are a lot of information out there, and because I've not been able to independently verify this information, I don't come up to talk about them. But then this war, it's gonna surprise all of you. This guy is dangerous. He needs to be stopped.